don't have a name for the project yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is like your like statement to the world. But you also have two other singles. So what are those two other singles?
So the two other singles that I put out, one was called 2222,
Or
and the third one, because I put 2222 out on January 21st. Then I put TakeOver out on February 14th. Then I put No Love Lost out on February 23rd and took 2222 off the net.
wow. Okay.
But essentially, so me being a gospel artist, like often I don't hear people who are gospel artists talking about like the love that they've experienced or dealt with or whatever the case as far as relationships go.
Right.
And I really, me being who I am, it's like, yes, I'm a gospel artist, but I'm also very expressive
Mm.
um, as an artist. Not necessarily like this is the most I probably would have ever talked about it outside of just regular conversation with my folks. But like, so I did a song, two songs rather, but I did a song about the love that I had experienced and the love that I want to make sure my sons get. Um, and we're gonna talk more about that off camera because I needed your help, especially with you having a beautiful son and the way that you love him and everything like that. But so like the first verse of 2222 and No Love Lost talk about the lessons that I want to make sure my son has and grows to understand as a man, and the love I want him to be able to love better than and be able to receive and give out love better than I have.
Word.
Because it's like I've the life I've lived now. I don't trust it. So if somebody was genuinely loving me, it's like, nah, what you want? Like, what are you trying to get from me and everything like that? But now that so that's kind of why I put that song out. Um, put 2222 out, and then uh after 2222, then I put out Takeover. But additionally, I put out No Love Lost, has the first, which has the three verses from 2222 now on the full song. So I was trying to paint a picture, but only giving a little bit of the canvas in the beginning.
All right. So 2222 is almost like a trailer for or a preview for No Love Lost.
In a sense,
Okay.
yeah.
Gotcha.
But it more so it's like this is the story, the part of the story that I'm revealing right now.
Mm-hmm.
So like, so what I did was I did the three verses because I had No Love Lost written December 31st of last year.
Can you spit a verse for us from that
Which
song?
one? From 22? Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
essentially from No
Spit the
Love
first
Lost.
verse. Yeah.
Um,
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Penny for your thoughts. You know what I'm saying?
One thing I've never done was act like a life ain't important enough to consider before I ever considered taking one. If my life can be considered foul, it's a flagrant one. I'm the greatest. Outside of the way that my life is set up now, one day I'll have an amazing son. He'll be the greatest when life starts to happen and he overcomes it. He won't have a choice. I won't allow him any excuses to run with. I only pray he learns from every situation I'm done with, and that he bears his weight well and doesn't collapse under tonnage if he chooses to use his heart. Keep him pure and away from foolery. Let him know he won't need to embellish, he'll already be adorned with jewelry. Make him speak the truth like hopefully he would when it's just you or me. Lord, in this world of gray, keep him away from the coonery. Make him transition past my transgressions. Grow him bigger than I could ever imagine while he's learning man lessons. Most important to me, I pray that he can learn from my confession. Help him have the understanding that every day with you is a blessing. Keep his mind clear so he can navigate stupid questions and speak constantly so he can know for what he's truly destined.
Mm.
So, like, one thing I've always remembered, so the person who is my dad or my father or whatever, he spoke on praying over me when I was young.
Mm.
Now he is not Christian, and everything like that. But one thing I've always wanted to do was make sure that I was also praying over my kids to the one true and living God, but more so covering them spiritually and even emotionally, even though I don't necessarily have the capacity for it.
God can give it to you though.
Yeah, of course. You know, I mean, you gotta want it though.
Right.
I'm good, and it's like that. But that's part of why I only gave a little bit of the story.
Right.
So 2222 is the time. This is this is probably the first time I've explained it to a mass audience. 2222 was the time that my ex called me from my back porch. I told
like
you
10
this,
p.m.
right?
at night.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean I use military time, but
okay.
I think I told you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2222 was the time that she called me from my back porch, and there was another woman in the house with me, and it was like
some shade room type stuff. Loving hip hop.
So like literally that time was kind of, it stood out to me.
Yeah, it was almost trauma. Like you see 2222 on your clock. And like,
yeah,
come back to you, your heart dropping.
Yeah, and that's how it was for like 3 months. I don't know, it was probably like 5 months actually.
Nah, I know how it is when you ain't moving right, man.
Yeah, man, straight up.
Nah, that stuff,
but it's like
do a number on you.
And what's crazy is like after she called and I seen her like at my back door, I'm like, yo, what the hell? But like I said, that's the time. So the time is important to me, and that's why I made that the title of the track, because it kind of explains that's when love got a different meaning to me.
Right.
I'll
tell you what, one thing that I love about my brother, man, is he is not only an MC, but he's a poet. You know what I'm saying? Like, he does the spoken word stuff too. Like, I done seen this man do shows. I remember it was 2014, I think, at the Juneteenth, or 2013. The way this man commanded that audience, like they was at the main concert. Like the way the Juneteenth stage works,
you might have to speak up.
The way the Juneteenth stage works is like they have this MC and all these people sign up and they give them their time slots, and they might give you 20 minutes, but then they condense it down to 5 minutes. This man got like 30 minutes on stage, and they let him do his full 30 minutes, and the whole time he had the crowd rocking. You know what I'm saying? That's when he was doing that. Everything I can do is better than you.
Yeah.
When he was going off that joint, bro, like he was on a different level. You know what I'm saying? And like every time like I hear this man, so with my man MAiNE though, when he's on stage, it's like the way he commands an audience, like it's like if you got any homies or any like really good friends that are extremely talented, but they're also like your friend, so you forget like how talented they are. Like when he was just spitting right now, it's like I remember, and then when I was listening to the TakeOver, it's like I remember like, yo, it's my man MAiNE, like he really does this. You know what I'm saying? He gets busy with the best of them. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I have those epiphany moments. Like there's not a lot of people, especially now with how cookie cutter music has gotten, with all the little babies and the babies and the mumble rappers and the drug doers and the drug users and the drug sellers. And you know what I'm saying? With all those different rappers, there's not a lot of MCs in that fold of artists that are like coming out in this day and age. And MAiNE is a real MC. You know what I'm saying? And he's a MC. He's an artist to his purest form. He's a songwriter and he's a poet. Like he's all that. So I gotta give my brother props. I believe in giving people their flowers while they can still smell them. So I'm trying to give my man MAiNE his props because he deserved it. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that.
No, for real.
Yeah.
But so did you want to talk about? I heard you had a cipher also coming out. Did you want to talk about that at all, or you want to save that for later?
Sure.
Okay, so what's going on with the cipher?
So the cipher is literally just a track. It's gonna be called the Winning Team Cipher. It's just one song. I would love to make it more, but just the way that people are moving and everything like that. So there's an artist from Brooklyn, New York. Her name is Serious Voice. She's quite frankly one of the dopest people I've met in the industry, and one of the realest, quite frankly. Like, so like what's crazy is after I put out No Love Lost, I mean I'll make sure you have the link to put in the description if they want to check it out. But like after I put that out, like she looked at it and then she like called me and woke me up out of my sleep and she's like, "Yo, I think you should get away from this, the way that it looks and everything like that." And I'm like, I mean, okay. So I really, she's just one of the people that like I just listen to, and try to glean from. But so she's gonna have a part in that track. There's a brother I know from Pennsylvania. His name is D Bishop. Like straight up one of the dopest people I've ever met. And that's as a whole. And like I have his verse already. He only did 8 bars, and I'm like, yo, those 8 are like sufficient. um, and then I got 3 more artists on there. My my blood brother, his name is Ayaz, and he's actually gonna have a verse on there as well. I heard a little bit of his, but I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to hear it until he was, solid in what he wanted. And then it's this dude named Verdell. Like, I mean, he's trying to start rapping or whatever. He used to sing, but straight up, like, I heard his verse, and I like his verse, and I'm trying to see how he gonna execute or whatever. Um, but additionally, Constant Battle is somebody I collaborate with all the time, and that's like my best man and everything like that. And then my brother Israel Ghetto Gospel, like that's my other best man. Like I got like 3. Quite frankly, even when I'm married, like it's not gonna be no groomsmen. Like I don't like people, so like all y'all just gonna be best men or whatever.
Right.
I ain't getting y'all like expensive gifts, but straight up, so it's like 6 or 7 artists on there.
No, that's a solid lineup. That's a solid lineup.
Yeah, so it's like it's really just gonna be like I told everybody, yo, go off, like, cause a lot of times, a lot of times people think that because you're a gospel artist that you can't rap, and it's like I want to show people like you talking to the wrong person if you think I can't rap, but still be a gospel artist and still give truth and still give life in every verse. So that's the cipher that's coming out, and it's I'm just waiting on people to bring their parts together, and then I can move forward. Like I'm actually like me and him are actually gonna be in the studio soon, recording that for his portion.
That's a fact. That's a fact, man. That's something I'm really excited about. You know what I'm saying? Collaboration is always a beautiful thing, especially when done right, and we gonna get it right.
Word up.
All right. So the next question I got for you is kind of a personal one. It's like a relationship type question. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't pay that much attention to Steve Harvey, but I seen something recently that was like on all the different like social medias and stuff that he said, and I actually agreed with him. A lot of people mostly disagreed with him, and he was making memes of it, and it was funny or whatever. But the thing that he said was, he was talking about his wife and how he's married. So due to the fact that he's married, he doesn't believe in a man like being either in a relationship or married, having friends with having friendships with women. You know, like he don't believe there's really any room for any platonic friends or friendships with females, and I agree with it because I'm like, well, let's talk about friendship. So, I mean, I'm not saying I can't be cordial to women anymore, but like, for instance, if like I ain't seen my brother MAiNE in a minute, like this is my best friend. If I ain't seen you in a minute, is my wife would have no problem with me like, all right, let's go out and eat somewhere. Like, let's go Applebee's and just chat it up, catch up. But I can't do that with a girl that I was like cool with. Like that would be weird. You know what I'm saying? Like I would want my wife there just so it wouldn't be no false things. But what do you think about that? Do you think a man can be friends with women after being in a relationship or married or whatever? You think it's possible?
I will say it certainly is possible.
Mm.
So one thing I always like when I'm talking to people about like different things and different situations that they go through in their relationships or whatever the case, or have gone through rather, I always bring it back to it's based on the person that you're in a relationship with. It's based on what they want to do.
Right.
So it's like literally my best friend is my ex. My best friend Shalimar. Like I went to her prom and everything.
Mm.
And like literally like she's my best friend. Like I could call her even though I wouldn't, but I could call her like if I'm like crying or something like that.
Right.
And essentially like she's in a relationship with another dude and like I like him. Like I actually gotta get in contact with him. But like he came over my house like and there was no malice or anything like that.
Mm.
Like I could call her and be like, yo, I want to go out to eat with you because I haven't seen you in a long time. And it would be understood that there's nothing more than, um, just that platonic relationship now. So it really is really just more so based on what the person is going to do and everything like that. And like I mean, quite frankly, I could just give you personal experience. Like I was in a relationship with a very, very, very great woman, and I still
Mm.
cheated on her. So
Right.
it's like, and it's not that I was lacking this or that. And quite frankly, I'm gonna be honest. Like one of the reasons I did cheat on her was because she lived in Texas, um, and like I felt like I could,
You
get away
talking
with
about
it or
the
whatever.
22-22 person?
Oh no, before that,
Oh, okay.
yeah, dude,
Oh, you got a pattern going on.
yeah. So
Hey, my bad.
hey man, I'm honest, man.
Hey, man.
It's a different situation now, but like,
We grow every day.
I, one of the reasons was because she was in Texas, and like, so it was a long distance thing, and I felt like I could do what I wanted because it was long distance, and
Mm.
but like, she's literally like one of the greatest women I've ever been with, like one of the greatest women I've ever known, and everything like that. Um, but it's like I still did what I did, like, and what's even worse is like I knew about her past, like she had been cheated on by just about every man she was with,
Mm-hmm.
and then it came to me, and I still did the same thing, and it's like,
That's rough.
yeah, wow, but I mean, I will say I'm glad that me and her are actually like we're good again. Um, and we're building and everything like that. Like she's still hurt by the situation, but I think that with me being the better man that I am, like it's kind of helped her to get past the situation a little bit.
Do you watch the Joe Budden podcast at all?
I do not a lot though,
Oh,
like
okay.
because honestly, like them niggas talk for like 2 hours, and it's like, yo,
No, that's a fact. That's
niggas
why I
are
try to keep mine to. This one go over a little bit, but I try to keep my podcast to like 30 minutes, 25 minutes. But
yeah,
it's gonna be over a little bit, but it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? But I feel that. So have
yeah.
you seen what happened recently with it?
Yeah, I seen a little bit. I mean, so what's crazy is I don't know enough of the story, but I will say a couple months ago I tweeted because I think it was a dream or whatever, but I tweeted somebody in Joe Budden's camp is going to be disloyal and he's going to have a talk with Jay-Z. Now,
That's crazy.
you right? I'm not a prophet, but I don't know I don't know if it was a disloyalty thing or what it was, and I don't know if Joe actually had a talk with Jay-Z yet.
I heard he did. I heard that.
You
Yeah.
serious?
That's why I said that's crazy.
I'm the greatest.
Or
I
he
didn't
he
know.
he reached out to Biggs, who was Jay Z's. He's in
Okay.
Jay Z's circle, so
Yeah.
that's why that's crazy to me.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of that. But like, it was just a random thing, and I'm like, yo, I feel like I have a great feeling that this is gonna happen, and like this was as soon as I woke
I'm
up, and I'm
sure
like,
in Joe Budden's eyes they were disloyal.
yeah. I mean, I think it was a money discrepancy,
Yeah,
which is crazy.
I thought they were right though because in my opinion, it made Joe Budden look like a big hypocrite because he left Spotify because he was fighting for equity, fighting for ownership, especially for people in the culture, black folks. You know what I'm saying? As a
Yeah.
black man, he was fighting for like you're not gonna like undervalue what I bring to the table. I bring this many millions of listeners. You're gonna pay me what I'm worth, and they were trying to pay him that. But then he turns around and does that to people in his own circle. Like, that's the pot calling the kettle black, in my opinion. So I thought that was messed up because he was angry at Rory and Maul because they're getting paid a percentage of what the podcast brings in as a whole, and they were asking, all right, so to make sure that we have the correct amount of money, we're getting paid a percentage. Can we see what the full 100% looks like as far as the accounting? Yeah. He got mad at them just asking for that.
Got you.
So like he's like, this is like questioning my character, and it's like, no, bro, like you are a brother. We just need to see what the whole pie is looking like so we can make sure that our split is correct. Like if think about a pizza or a pie, you need to see the whole pie to make sure you're getting the correct size slice.
Yeah.
That's all they were trying to do. It was no knock on his character, and he got so offended that he fired both of them for asking for that. So I thought that was like, very emotional, not well calculated, and not a good move as far as business and friendship. But I wish the best for both things. I still am a fan of the Joe Budden podcast, and I'm definitely a fan of Rory and Maul, so I wish them both the best. But I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
I mean, I'm not even going front. I am somewhat biased simply because, like, I've always loved Joe Budden as an artist. I've always loved who he was as a person, where it's like, nigga, this is me.
Yeah, he acted like that. Yeah, so, the ego.
But I can definitely understand where you're coming from, like where Rory and Maul are coming from, if that's the thing, because it's like I would feel the exact same way, because it's like all right, cool, we making we getting a whole bunch of listeners, and it all looks good on the outside. That's wonderful. The numbers are wonderful, but if the money ain't matching, I get it. But I also think about how I would feel, like with you, like even though I would go about it differently, where it's like, nigga, we both have access to the numbers, so that you can see that I'm being genuine, or not even being not that I'm not being genuine, or more so, but like I want you to be able to see, like, nah, I'm your man for real. Straight up, this is right down the middle, no questions. And then you could take it to your wife, because she needs to, be able to recognize that you're in good business and everything like that. But I also could see, like, if I wasn't that type of dude, where it's like I'm your man, like you shouldn't even feel like that's something that you need to ask. But it's four of them. It's four people on that podcast, but Joe Budden's name is the name that holds the weight.
Yeah.
So one thing I think about is, like, whereas I wouldn't do it this way, simply because, like, so Q-Mania, like, that's my thing. But I can't do that with other people, because it's like, it's not just me anymore. So, right, like, really, it's really tough, because his name, like, that podcast is his, like, no questions asked. So it's like, it kind of gets to a point where it's like, I'm the star of the show. You should be grateful for what I give you.
Yeah, but
even though that wouldn't be my mindset, and I don't think that's his either, but it's just, it could look that way.
But that it's like that to an extent. But with the Joe Budden podcast, it was a special thing to it, because it used to be called the podcast All About Nothing. Like, I was watching it since then. That was like around 2016, 2017 when it first started. It was the podcast About Nothing. That's something separate. Excuse me. This was called We'll Name This Podcast Later. That's what was the name of it. We'll name this podcast later. And people loved it because of the dynamic between the three and how they spoke on culture. Like, Rory was like the cool white boy that was like, he was down with the brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, everybody in the hood got like one like white boy that's like, he always around and he with everybody. Yeah. And then Maul was like the laid back cool one that, like, you know, he had crazy stories with like women in his past and stuff, and he was like up on like the latest like trends in fashion, and he like his swag was on point, like he knew how to dress and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Budden was the rapper, you know what I'm saying, that had all these industry stories. So that dynamic between the three of them was why a lot of people watched the show. It was not just purely on Joe Budden, because there was a lot of people that watched that show that like didn't like Joe Budden, but like Rory, or their favorite character was Maul, or their favorite character was Joe Budden.
Yeah.
And make no mistake, a lot of these times when you see in a podcast or something, people are being characters. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not their true self. But like what I'm saying is like people bought into the show for the dynamic more so than the Joe Budden podcast, and so it was a bit of a slap in the face to the fans, me being one of them. But it is what it is. You know, that's life. You know.
Well, I mean, so
things take their course.
One thing I did see a video on. I tried to watch a video on it because it's just more so because like from what I had seen, like they were like great friends and everything like that.
Mm.
I just know it wouldn't happen with me as far as like I wouldn't be the cause of whatever breakup or whatever between me and my brothers. Like because I said like brothers, like I don't have friends or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
But like I seen the video and I think he was talking about like Joe Budden was saying like it seemed as though they were kind of taking, not they, but Rory was kind of taking it a little bit too far left, and Joe started to get hurt by it because he said like, "What if we're not friends or something like that?" And then Joe was like, "I mean, well, like what do you mean?" You know. So I mean, shoot, Joe's from the streets, so it's like he probably ready to pop off anyway,
right?
You know. So it's like, and I'll say it like this: if somebody like if I feel like somebody is purposely, you know, kind of trying to draw a separation between me and them, like you know, or whatever the case, I'm gonna step back because it's like one. Like if you going through something that's different, like, you know, go ahead and separate yourself because I like first and foremost I want my people to be good. But if you just separating yourself or like trying to draw that like that line or whatever, all right, cool. Mm-hmm. Let's you know set it in stone, put it in ink, you know, put a contract, get it, you know, notarized and everything. Let's make sure that distinction is clear.
Right.
But that's just how I see it. You know.
Yeah, like make no mistake.
You know, but it's like it's hard for me because I'll get that way with anybody. Mm. You know, so it's like it kind of goes back to, you know, what you were asking about the relationships is back on that person. So it's like me and you, we're brothers, but it's like if my heart wasn't right, if my heart wasn't in the right place, you know, and I start drawing that line between me and you, that breaks that bond. And you break the bond. If you break down anything enough, it's not gonna be there no more. Yeah, straight up. Right. You know, and it's like, does anybody else call your little man single?
No.
Bad. So it's like, but like that's the time.
And it's crazy because you only call him that for something that I posted, and like you the only one that like held on to that. Like,
yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, but it's like, that's the bond that's there.
Because I remember I was gonna like that was gonna be his nickname, but then. You know, me and my wife agreed we wanted him to have like his own identity, so we gave him the middle name Isaiah. You know what I'm saying? But you held on to that single because you're like, no, that's what you said you was gonna do. It always brings that back to my mind that my man MAiNE, he watches what I say and stuff.
So you know, it's like that bond is there, like no question. But if either one of us, for any reason, like purposely breaks down that bond, and it's not because we're just going through something and like can't really get out of it, but it's just deliberately like, nah, like, you know, like causing that separation. It's like, all right, cool, you know, because me, one thing about me, like I feel like I'm gonna end up by myself later on. We done talked about this.
Nah, don't say that.
No, I'm not stressing it, but that's the thing. Nah, it's like
you got a woman for you out there.
Sure, let's whatever. But
you gotta stop cheating.
It's more. I left that in 2020. Yo, 2020 was a bad year.
I'm leaving everything in 2020 though.
But like, so
2020 can stay in 2020. Yeah.
But it's like it goes back to the person. Like if the person don't want to be there, you can't keep them around, because then it gets it gets toxic after that.
Nah, that's
So
100% fact.
and I feel like that could have been part of what the situation was with Rory Mull and Joe Budden. So
yeah, no, they tried to mend it and fix it over the span of 2 months, and it just couldn't happen. So I get that. I feel that.
yeah.
But yo, before we get up out of here, give them your socials. So what's your like Facebook, Twitter,
Yeah.
Instagram, all that?
No. What is it? Oh yeah, it's on Facebook too. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, like essentially are all the same. LGI_MAiNE MAiNE. Just make sure the G is uppercase because that stands for God. And I try my best to make sure that people understand the way that I stylize things, because it's a lot of meaning behind it. But LGI_MAiNE MAiNE. That's on everything on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter. There's also a like page on Facebook. And I try my best. I'm still working on that. But yeah, man, like that's everything. And I'll have him put the links to the music in the description or in the comments or whatever this is going to be on. So we going, yeah, man. Yeah, and first of all, I want to say I appreciate that you wanted me to be one of your first guests, even though you said the first one. It is what it is.
You would have been.
Nah,
we just couldn't get
the hurt is already here.
We couldn't get the date right.
It's
all good.
It is what it is. But like the fact that you even wanted me to be a part of it, I'm honored by that, because it's like this is one of your this is yours, like. Yeah. And, as far as with the music and everything like that, a lot of people had their hands in that. Like, so people were, like, producing for you. Some people were writing here and there for you and everything like that. But this is your idea. And, this is all your equipment, and you cutting and editing and everything. And, I feel like this is always what I've wanted to do. And now it's like this is what you're doing, as far as like doing everything for yourself, and I'm proud of you. I mean, I'll tell you that. Like, I
appreciate that.
Like once every 3 months or something.
I definitely appreciate that.
Straight up, man.
Yeah, something my mom always said was like when it came to music, and it's just like with this, nobody ever had to push me to do music. Like with Joe Jackson, how he had to push the Jackson brothers to like do music. Same thing with this, like. Nobody had to push me to do music. Nobody had to push me to do this podcast. You know what I'm saying? This was something God gave me the vision for, and I was just like, all right, well, let me look up what they use. And I looked up on you. I literally was like, we got YouTube at our disposal. There's no excuses for not getting something done.
Yeah. And
I was like, all right, so what do I need? I need lighting. I need a microphone. I need a camera. Okay, how do I get these things? I go on Amazon. I start ordering these things. I was like, all right, let me look for the best quality things for the most affordable price. And that's what I did pretty much, you know what I'm saying? And so with that being said, we talk about affordable prices and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So we kind of broke around here. This is a penny for your thoughts. So I wish I could pay my man MAiNE something, but I'm gonna give him a penny for his thoughts, you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna give you a penny right back. You heard?
I wasn't expecting that.
Exactly. That's why that's another life lesson. Don't tell everybody all your stuff, because it's gonna be people that's gonna try and take from you, and it's gonna be people that's gonna take your idea and try to run with it. But this is my man, so I just wanted to mess with him.
That's a penny for your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? My special guest, MAiNE. Y'all check out the TakeOver. And more singles to come. Peace and love. God bless y'all.
And my concordance, I don't back down. Civilized conversation with me. You're getting facts now. That's just the way that I'm gon' be. And act from now on. Lukewarm should now mourn my existence and the fact that I'm persistent. I'm old school. They washed up.